Newton Abbot Community Hospital and the setting for a remarkable family occasion. Marking Nurses' Day, an award is being given for outstanding nursing care. It'll be presented by Lizzie Troy, a trainee midwife who recently launched a fundraising campaign to provide birth kits in Kenya. It's the first presentation of the trophy in honour of her grandmother, Marjorie Troy, introduced by her son and Lizzie's uncle, Peter Troy.
My mother was admitted into the hospital here on the Templar ward just about a year ago, and she was here for a week. It was the last week of her life, and the quality, standard of care, everything about that experience was absolutely excellent. My mother was basically a nurse. She'd been nursing for most of her life in one form or another. She learnt her skills in the 1940s when the Second World War was on, and the world was a very different place then. She learnt her skills. She trained in Southampton. To give you an idea of sort of how different it was, the Blitz was going on, and she wrote about that in her diary. And on one occasion, she was at a nursing clearance station, casualty clearing station for D-Day. You know, what a place to sort of learn how to nurse, eh? Immediately after she qualified, she took a short break, she travelled, then she joined the RAF, the nursing service, and for many years she was an RAF nurse. She met my father out in Singapore, travelling the world. When she came back, when my brother and I were growing up, she went back to nursing. She nursed in London, in various hospitals like this, community hospitals, big hospitals, all sorts of hospitals. And then in Leicestershire, she did a wide range of nursing, and finally retiring down here in Devon in 1988. If in years to come somebody says, well, who was Marjorie Troy? Her name lives on. So I'd like to thank particularly Liz Sterling. So thank you, Liz, for turning this into a reality. We're absolutely delighted.
For me personally, I think it's a great sense of achievement in that somebody's actually recognised the care that we actually give at Newton Abbot Hospital, and I'm really proud of that. That there's been an experience where somebody's lost a loved one, and it's been a relatively positive experience from what is a really hard time. And the fact that it was open to everybody as a real team. It wasn't just about nursing, because that's just one aspect of the whole care. It's the whole team that helped to make the whole picture for everybody. So for me, I'm extremely privileged and proud that that you've nominated this award to the hospital, and that we can build on that, and it's given staff a real sense of achievement in a time where nursing's had a good knocking about sort of the care we provide, and it's great to be able to celebrate our achievements.
And I'd like to say thank you to all the staff who made the nominations, and also all the patients who made nominations, because for me the sign that we actually do well is when we get feedback from our patients, when we get comments from our patients. That's the difference as far as I'm concerned in terms of the services that we provide. And I'm mindful that there was sort of two events recently. One is, that you see around the room here, which was yesterday was Nurses' Day nationally. I don't know whether it was internationally, but it certainly was nationally. And I was actually saying to Peter in our preamble there that the NHS, as in NHS, we're pretty rubbish at actually marketing ourselves and selling ourselves and telling the world about what we actually do good. And the second thing is, we're now in the sort of post-mid-Staffordshire hospital era. And I'm sure that unless you were hibernating, you won't have missed the fact that the NHS had some really bad publicity and had some really bad experiences that led to the bad publicity at a sort of a national level. And I don't know about people in the room, but my heart sank as an ex-nurse and as a current NHS manager. My heart sank when I sort of had the opportunity to read some of the patient stories. And if you haven't done it, I would strongly commend that you do, because it gets to the nub of what we should be about in the NHS. And that's about care, compassion, treating people with privacy, dignity, with love and tenderness and all of those sort of things that make the difference between good care and reasonable care. So it's my pleasure to be involved in this, Peter, today, and I'm delighted to be able to sort of associate those comments with your mum as well, because Liz sort of briefed me about your mum. And the fact that she was a nurse, we almost sort of feel an affinity. So thank you. And we will definitely mark her life here at Newton Abbot Hospital. And I know that the trophy is actually going into one of the corridors. I think it's upstairs. And again, as part of the new hospital, we'll actually be able to have that on display. And with the winners' names on it as well. So thank you to the Troy family. And as I said, we will most certainly mark this on an annual basis. We have 6 nominees, and one, Kath Murphy, can't be here today, but I think a colleague is or colleagues, yeah? Yep, thank you. These are the comments. So from the therapy services, we had Rachel Barnett. And the comments that we got back from staff and patients was, Rachel is always upbeat and proactive. Her smiling and energy has a domino effect on others. Wonderful supervisor, goes out of her way to ensure people understand and never treat questions as silly. So well done, Rachel, that's not for our first nominee. The second nominee was from the hotel services, and that's Martin, our porter. Martin goes out of his way to help with any task, never leaving anything else for others. His work takes him to every department, and he is equally helpful wherever he goes. The third nominee is Jane. For Jane, it says a very caring nurse who will always go the extra mile in caring for patients. She's kind and generous of spirit, always shows kindness and compassion to families. So Lynn Roberts is one of our healthcare assistants. Congratulations again, Lynn. It says Lynn is conscientious and caring to patients and other members of staff. She's hardworking and a great asset to the team. Kath Murphy, on the video link over here. Kath is always helpful and kind. Outstanding care and compassion shown to patients and their families. Very supportive to junior staff. Is an excellent nurse who always makes the patients smile. So again, congratulations to Kath. And finally, we've got Karen Smith. Karen is always cheerful to staff and patients. She's always kind to patients and families, always smiling and cheerful. So the winner of the Marjorie Troy Memorial Trophy in 2013, its inaugural winner, I should say, is Jane Watson. Okay. Okay, so I want to say, Jane, why I chose you this year. And it's because of a couple of the comments we had specifically from patients. And again, I think that this is what makes the difference. It says, my mum had a fracture in her radius, and after presenting with a skin irritation, she came to Newton Abbot Hospital. Jane looked after Mum and was very kind and caring. She did everything she could to make Mum happy and comfortable. I was so impressed and would like to thank her dearly. And it was the Mum thing, I think, Peter, that got us going as well in terms of your Mum. The second one was on the 25th of March 2013, I attended the MIU at Newton Abbot as a result of a head injury sustained whilst at the gym. I was seen by Sister Jane at the unit. She couldn't have been more professional or caring. She offered exceptional customer care throughout, and her examination and stitching to my right eye even were completed with the utmost professionalism, with a good sense of humour, and this helped me manage the situation that I found myself in. I would be grateful if you could pass on my thanks to her and the rest of the team at the unit, and I would like it noted on her personal file in recognition of her first-class nursing skills. In times when the nursing profession is under so much scrutiny, it is, in my opinion, really important to recognise the work these professionals complete on a daily basis in what can be a challenging and often difficult circumstance. I'm very grateful and thank you again. And that's from one of our patients. So congratulations to all the nominees and particularly to Jane, and thank you to the Troy family. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of the whole Troy family and myself, Marjorie Troy's granddaughter, I'd like to thank you for all the hard work you've obviously put into nursing. Thank you and keep it up. It's it's really amazing. So present you with that award.
I've only actually been at Newton Abbot for just over a year, so I just feel so honoured, totally. I've been a nurse for 38 years, coming from Torbay Hospital actually, where I've just finished 24 years in A&E. So this was a big decision to come to Newton Abbot, but it's the best decision I have ever made, and Newton Abbot has been absolutely wonderful. Caring people to me, staff have accepted me, and I just feel so proud to be here. And this I take for my team in the MIU who have accepted me into the team. I'm absolutely
Thank you. Well done. Well done. Thank you. Well done. Congratulations. I'm sure this will go again.
Just like the BAFTAs.
We wanted to acknowledge everybody, all of our nominees, as well as Jane, because everyone does a fantastic job, and we felt that it was important that the whole team from the hospital are acknowledged. So we've got a little thing for those runners up.
Well done. So, Rachel, come forward, please.
Goes to my milk
Oh,
tray.
lovely. Thank you, Liz.
Well done.
Thank you.
Martin.
Thank
Is
you very
Martin
much.
there?
Thank you. Thank you. Well done.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
It's
Thank
really
you.
fine.
Thank you.
Congratulations. I won't give you a kiss.
Thank you.
And then, obviously, Kath is not here, so Karen as well, please. So well done. Well done to you.
Okay.
Yeah, well done, Liz, as well. Well done, Jane.
Jane, congratulations on winning the award. What does winning the trophy mean to you?
I'm almost lost for words, actually, which is quite rare for me. Well, it's a total honour, true honour. It just makes me so proud to be a nurse.
For me, today has just been a really proud moment to see the work that my grandma was so proud of doing, coming into life again in Newton Abbot Hospital, seeing how much it meant to all the people who were awarded and nominated, and to have been part of it again was really, really special and quite emotional.
Did you have many conversations with your granny about nursing?
Yes, we did, yeah, especially once I started my training in midwifery. I was then able to kind of talk to her about what her training was like and what she found midwifery like sort of as an RAF nurse, and how she wasn't too impressed with the with the loud women, and some really good sort of anecdotes and things that she sort of passed on to me about her work that she did, which was really special. And actually I talk about her quite a lot with my colleagues at work in Dorchester, because she worked as a nurse in Weymouth, so it's a really nice connection.
And very soon you're off to Kenya. Tell me about that.
So in August 2013, myself and two colleagues who I've trained with for 3 years are going to do our elective placement, which we've sort of organised independently. And we're going off to experience midwifery out in sort of Masai Mara tribes and communities, just to see for ourselves what midwifery can be like in different parts of the world that are perhaps less privileged with resources than we are here.
You've been raising some funds very successfully, I understand.
Yes, I have. With lots of kind help from family and friends, we've managed to raise well over £5,000, the three of us, which we've been doing for the last 2 years because we decided to do the trip a while ago. So we've been pulling all that together. We've been researching what would be the best way to spend all the money on the most needed resources for the mothers and midwives out in Kenya.
Presentation of the Marjorie Troyer Memorial Trophy will become an annual event here at Newton Abbot, recognising not only nursing excellence, but also the contribution of someone who gave a lifetime service in helping others.